Hello and welcome into Full Screen Podcast. I'm your host, SAG-AFTRA, and joining me today, as always, ecstatic with joy at the news of Golden Globes returning, finding a home on streaming at Paramount. It's Raven Ebert. How are you, Raven?
I'm starting to notice like the seasonal changes around me. I think the biggest one is that all the pumpkin spice stuff is now being replaced with peppermint stuff. And that's how I really know that we're going into a different season. I've also been blessed with a lot of rain in Northern California, which is hopefully means that the only dumpster fire I'm going to see are the Golden Globes later on.
I was gonna say, are you just gonna fly past me just accusing you of loving the Golden Globes?
There's a lot of things that you may not know about me. Number one, I love bribery. I love being given money.
Mess.
I love mess, but I also love bribery. I love the mess created by the bribery. And I also just can't find the cultural relevance of being a Golden Globe winner anymore, particularly after... I think the cultural collective outside of just the industry came to dismiss it after the whole Emily in Paris being nominated consecutively for like comedy awards. And I think at that point, everybody from like the executives at these studios to like Janet and Jason in Iowa were like, this doesn't mean anything. I'm not gonna go see a movie but because it has like Golden Globe winner on the poster. So I'm happy that collective has come through. Thank you, social media, for being the perfect platform to like roast this kind of truly self-congratulatory like bullshit that we see with the Golden Globes. So.
I feel like, do you remember the reverence with which everyone would thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and now you hear that name and you're like, eee, holy water, throw holy water.
I don't know what that is, but if you guys contract the HFPA, please get vaccinated, get tested. Man, remember when that Johnny Depp, Angelina Jolie movie, The Taurus, was nominated for a Golden Globe?
Oh my god.
In the comedy section. Remember when The Martian was nominated in the comedy section? I'm like, you either have to do like massive category fraud, or you're a sadistic person to think that being stranded on Mars is hilarious. Like,
what a great segue into promoting our last episode, which was talking about the award season and why Emmy Awards matter and the sort of award categories we kind of dissect. Emmy Awards 2024. There's no Emmy Awards 2023, guys. So the strikes are over, Raven. Labor has won forever. CEOs no longer have their vast millions. AI is defeated. Suck it, Ex Machina. Am I right? That's it.
I've been reading a lot about the French Revolution. It's such a good topic. Like, it unrelated, by the way. Like, did you know that? Yeah, did you know that they came up with like this thing called the guillotine? Yeah, it's fascinating.
Never heard of it.
Anyway, yeah, like look it up. It's interesting.
Yeah, so with the actor strike, which correct me if I'm wrong, Raven, it's still not been ratified, right? The actors are still voting on the decision reached by the leadership of the union.
All the governors of the 50 states need to sign this into their constitution before it can get into being ratified. Once the nanny says it's back to work, y'all, then I know that we'll be ready for a complete settlement of the requests from the labor unions. So
one immediate impact I've been enjoying is late night wasted no time. All of YouTube is now filled with hot people once more. Like Jimmy Fallon, one of the Jimmys is always filled with I've seen Tom Holland, I've seen Iman Vellani, I've seen Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone.
Okay, I was in a hot second of panic thinking you thought one of the Jimmys was doing it for you, and I was ready to stage an intervention, but you're saying, no, the Jimmys are the platform upon which hot people are raised. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, although that's the whole point.
I've been there, SNL Jimmy. And not doing your job and just breaking character in every skit.
Yeah, don't pretend. I witnessed your Colbert thirst firsthand. So,
Okay, you place Jon Stewart and Colbert together. I mean, all bets are off.
I have to put you back together. You literally fall apart into pieces. I have to glue you together.
What a time. All right, so
but you're happy that late night is back, and you're happy to see actors humiliating themselves to promote their content, which I
Incredible.
Also agree.
Nathan Fielder in Victorian glasses and a little dangly earring.
First of all, Nathan Fielder, period, doing such a stellar job of marketing The Curse with Emma Stone.
So good.
Which I am ready to consume, mainline it immediately. I'm excited about this. Just
I watched the first episode. I was uncomfortable. I was ecstatic. It's just
that's just Nathan Fielder. That's a regular Nathan Fielder experience. Uncomfortable, ecstasy, ecstatic, discomfort. Yeah, it's that's his specialty.
By the way, Rotten Tomatoes for this, interestingly, 92% on critics, 33% for audience. So that's just Nathan Fielder for you.
I don't give a shit. People loved The Rehearsal way beyond my expectations, because I always enjoyed Nathan For You. And then he came in with a little existential sweetness, and people really loved The Rehearsal. So I wouldn't be worried, guys. This is not something that, Jason and Joanna from Iowa have to embrace with open arms. It is, of course.
We gotta interview Jason and Joanna from.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for Iowa, where one day Captain James Tiberius Kirk will be born. I mean, it's on Showtime, which is on Paramount Plus. So, broke bitches don't get it.
All right, before we go into today's topic, give us the deets on the social meets.
Yes. If you are collectively suffering seasonal depression, or you have a recurring nightmare where your sleep demon is just Mariah Carey screaming all that she wants for Christmas is you, specifically you and your corporeal body, please send us the details of those on our Instagram and Twitter at FullScreenPod. We're also on YouTube, where you can catch our episodes uploaded. Be sure to like and subscribe, leave us comments, engage with the algorithm, boost us, baby. And if you have episode ideas, questions, comments, anything you'd like us to cover, send them to us at our email, fullyscreened@gmail.com.
I was just thinking that I've transitioned, last month it was making a list of all my favorite horror movies, and now I've got a giant list of favorite rom-coms and favorite holiday movies.
Baby, we can still keep it going with Krampus. Who says horror don't gotta be Christmas, baby? Let's go.
The November transition, all bets are off, right? I have a lot of thoughts on Love Actually, but I'll save them for one of the later ones.
We're going to see Thanksgiving by Eli Roth.
Yes.
Thanksgiving. Oh, honey, we're Thanks-living.
All right, guys, today's topic, we're doing an industry tech roundup on something that I've been very curious myself to look into, investigate, dissect, all that stuff. We're talking Facebook Watch. The video on demand service by Facebook, launched in 2017, was shuttered, quote unquote, as in basically shuttered but rebranded this year as part of the latest round of cuts at Meta. So Meta, very stable, notoriously, for the past year or so, as we know. Not a laughing matter, guys. Tech is not doing well right now. So let's talk about the history, its tenure, 5-6 year tenure, what strategy the Zuck is cooking up for video on demand moving forward. You excited, Raven?
I love talking about stable genius Mark Zuckerberg. Let's go. All right, everybody, let's grab our bagels or whatever breakfast food of your choice. Grab your coffee and look alive, because it's the all hands, everybody. we're about to inundate you with a bunch of information, data, and decisions, and hope that you don't have any questions so we can immediately get to our shareholders. In our all hands today, we're actually going to be talking about a corporation that I'm sure has had many all hands recently to discuss the state of things. And that is the corporate conglomerate and eldritch terror entity known as Meta. So let's harken back to the olden days of 2017. People were wearing pink pussy hats. What else was happening in 2017? My God, I don't know.
Was that 2017?
Girl, it was. Yes, it was. Pussy hat time, and it was a boom in streaming. I think it was definitely like the conflation of Pussy Hat Power and The Handmaid's Tale that made everybody really focus on gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, girl power movements for sure. But I would say that 2017 is where we as consumers started to feel the tides change in streaming, because apparently that was the year that everybody in Hollywood decided to go their own way in streaming, because they thought, hey, this seems good. Netflix is posting really good numbers for its shareholders. It's doing well in the awards categories and therefore attracting a lot of top talent. Clearly, what they're doing different is just being on the internet when we're not. So let's also get on the internet, guys. So 2017 was like...
fucking sheep following.
It really was just like not really understanding what was different about the Netflix model, and instead they were just like, well, it's on the internet and people have the cables now to go on tubes in other people's computers. And Netflix was also just putting out a lot of content at this time, so I could see like traditional studios being scared of the amount of content that was coming out from this one production company, because they felt like they were unable to keep up, or they felt like following the traditional route of production and distribution through like, you know, traditional television channels or movie theaters and stuff was not working out for them. And new content was also coming out on Hulu and Amazon Prime, so it wasn't just Netflix. It really was like a lot more coming in from streaming. People actively picking to watch content on streaming over traditional cable and television offerings. And all these studios got wise to it and said, we're not going to renew our license contracts with Netflix, and started pulling their content. Like, these were the times that like The Office and Friends and all of that started disappearing from Netflix.
Yeah. This must have been an incredibly scary time for these people who've existed, you know, for these companies, the traditional companies in this model, like to see a player come in, offer content for cheap to its users and audience, and with the rapidity and speed that they could never even imagine. It must have been like, this is it for us, guys, like that's it. And now we're seeing, and now obviously with like ad tiers and password crackdown, and we suddenly cost $53 a month, you know? It is only natural that after taking those hits and those losses, they're course correcting, basically market correcting, like now it's time to make a profit. And actually that was not a sustainable model. So studios, you may have been right. You may have been onto something there. But
I mean, I would love to see Marvel do a what if episode, except that in 2017, we did not get people pulling everything off of Netflix. So I would have loved to have known what Netflix's price would have been at today if that didn't happen. Because this is another place where just too many different options started coming in, and people had to start making decisions about, what streaming service do I want to pay for eventually. So, but I mean, if you're looking at numbers, things like HBO and Showtime, which were functioning pretty much the same as a streaming service, you pay a subscription fee for a month, they were doing pretty well. And the content from HBO and Showtime, particularly HBO, still maintains that prestige of like, it's really good stuff, but it also has a lot of things that audiences are gravitating towards and enjoying in terms of content. So, I think it's important to understand that there was also a lot of conglomerate corporate shuffling happening right now. The 20th Century Fox purchase by Disney was starting to take place, so we knew that there was even more consolidation that was happening right now.
It became 21st Century Fox, right? After the Disney?
I think it's still 20th Century, but now it's studios, so the Fox part is dropped. Because Fox bought 20th Century initially, so they're also a conglomerate from before. I love capitalism. Anyway, I was going to also add that CBS All Access started rolling out. So this was like the first venture of, one television channel, a cable channel, saying we're going to offer a streaming version that has exclusive content. AMC and FX also did the same thing, where they added spin-off services that were getting bundled into cable packages. So I think it's safe to say that this was a gold rush for streaming. And spoiler alert for if you don't know what happened with the gold rush, I think you're about to find out as we take a look at what Facebook decided to do in the face of this streaming gold rush.
All right, 2017 gold rush. Let's talk about Facebook. What was Mark doing at this time? You know what he thought? Before the metaverse, let's get into the streaming business.
See, I wouldn't know because I left my sweatsuit at the dry cleaners along with my fuck you flip-flops. You asshole. I'm not coming for 10%. I'm coming for all of it. I'm sorry.
Listen, it's Fincher time. Again, it's never not Fincher time, but The Killer was perfect.
Oh god, I can't wait to see the sequel to The Social Network, The Metaverse. Yeah. I want another. I want another like a choir doing like a chorus version of some sort of Radiohead song, or maybe Troye Sivan song. I don't know. We'll see.
So in 2017, I think early summer, Director of Product Daniel Dankin, Director of Product at Video, that was the title. He is now at Instacart, Chief Product Officer. So good for him.
Yeah, that translates directly. Sure, that's cool.
Yeah. Wrote a post introducing Watch, mentioning, quote, "We've learned that people like the serendipity of discovering videos in their newsfeed, but they also want a dedicated place they can go to watch videos." Okay, end quote. This will directly be refuted in like a few minutes.
The gall of saying that after 2016. Plutonium enriched uranium level bullshit. So.
Yeah. The Watch page actually still exists, the Watch press release where they recap what it is. The aim of Watch apparently was to have a personalized video space to help you discover new shows organized around what your friends and communities are watching. So for example, the carousel sections in this dedicated Watch page that you have your Facebook app, and on the bottom menu there's a dedicated video watch icon. When you click on that, you have this dedicated page, and on the top it's pretty familiar but flawed organization. You'll have a little bit of promo image on the top of show that they're trying to promote, and then little carousels as you scroll down. I saw most talked about. Now this is dead, guys. This page is dead, so I obviously went back in time and accessed this page because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I ever went on Watch, so maybe I did. I'm not sure. We'll talk about it later.
Were you not a 67-year-old grandma on a steady diet of conspiracy theories in 2017? Is that
you joke? But it's actually a quote that I'm going to mention later. For example, so the carousel sections were most talked about: promo, display, content images, so you can click on those under these carousels and access these shows or episodes. And what's making people laugh, which included shows where many people had used the haha emoji reaction.
Was it like a scene at a hospital or something and people are just like, haha, because they pressed the wrong button?
Talk about like the simplicity of data. They're like, many people clicked on this, so we're gonna surface you the emoji reaction of haha without any like other contextual data that they should add to the algorithms. Speaking of algorithms, it will come up later. People had a lot to say. Creators on these platforms and consumers of this platform had a lot to say about the algorithm itself, and other things like what your friends are watching, which makes sense, which helps you connect with friends. It was available on mobile, desktop, laptop, and TV apps. So it was available on Samsung TV, Fire TV, Apple TV, which, I mean, why?
I'm just trying to imagine the, let's just face it, the assumed core demographics of Facebook trying to do anything with a smart TV. Like, it's just... But, I mean, I guess they just wanted to be able to say that, hey, this is a legit streaming option. It's available everywhere that other streaming services are. We're a real streaming service, so...
So, I think theme-wise, instead of original content that entertain and engage, the focus from the get-go was sort of to create a creator ecosystem. The focus. I don't know if they ever succeeded in doing that with Watch itself, but so this creator ecosystem, they wanted it to revolve around, again, a lot of this is from like their official press release, which I absolutely love because we're going to talk about how it actually turned out. So number one, they wanted shows that engaged fans and community, like Nas Daily connecting with his fans and posting videos with his fans. Okay. Number two, live shows that connect directly with fans, Gabby Bernstein meditations, etc., that she could do live.
Oh, Facebook is the wrong place to ground yourself and get centered.
I mean, Jay Shetty for a while Jay Shetty was doing really well on Facebook Watch for a little bit, but then it kind of burned and crashed from there, and he was like, you know what's good? TikTok and YouTube. Number three, shows that follow a narrative arc or have a consistent theme, like Tastemade's Kitchen Little. By the way, I'm saying these names and I'm like, I have no interest or inclination.
Tastemade's Kitchen Little has a narrative arc of what? I didn't burn down my kitchen successfully?
Yeah, and then number four was live events that bring communities together. So Major League Baseball was broadcasting one game per week on Facebook, enabling people to watch live baseball while connecting with friends and fellow fans on the platform. Guys, do you get the theme though? Do you get the theme? They're just like throwing darts and they're like,
they took the best part of baseball, which is like the food at the stadium. They took that out and said, how about you deal with the worst parts of baseball? And I can't imagine why this didn't work.
It's something to be said about how they didn't understand the mode of the content, where one type of content and how one type of content should be organized and how it's consumed. Can you imagine the live sports comments page? Are you kidding me? No.
I mean, two things. Number one, go Giants. And number two, I think they're trying to like replicate of what happens when people live tweet things on Twitter. And they said, how about we combine the ability to watch the thing and comment on it together so we can pull away all of these people who are pretty much sort of doing the same thing where they're providing their own commentary to the sporting event on Twitter. So, hey, let's bring this over here.
Quickly, I'm going to go into like some of the feature, I won't even say standouts, the feature existence. So primarily on the small screen, which can be argued was the intended experience. So again, no standalone app, right? Only accessible through, no standalone app on mobile, only you go on Facebook.com or Facebook app and you could get to the tab from there. So that's the only entry point on the small screens. The page itself, once you get to it, is divided into only two main tabs, so Discover and Watch List. So Watch List is where you star and the content that you want to keep tabs on. So it immediately deviated from the mobile standard organization of other streaming services, disabling quicker access to content that they could be promoting, newly added, kids, movies, TV, popular, what friends have been watching. Instead, they're making them scroll below the fold to get to that instead of just one click away on the top.
Oh, this triggered you. This triggered you below the fold. I know how much you hate that shit.
I will forever reference Hulu as one of the best models to do this. I absolutely love Hulu. The carousel, as you scroll down, like, what is happening, guys? Again, like, kind of this standard way of organizing, right, which I just went into, but everything had a different font and color. So imagine this page, which we might actually, like, once you watch our videos, which Raven has been working so hard on YouTube, we might actually attach a screenshot of what the screen looks like, but it's different colors of the display promo images of the episodes and, like, the TV shows that you want to watch. And then a lot of text, descriptive text. It's not like just one sentence. I saw at least 3 lines of text in the small screen. Think of the real estate, guys. And then just pink color, red color. Like, no one thought about accessibility. And you're just like, okay, I am anxious and I do not want to interact with this page. So bye is the feeling.
A little bit like you're in some sort of Clockwork Orange prison that is trying to awaken something subliminal in you with the constant barrage of pinks and red, and then suddenly your lizard brain is activated and you really need to kill the Queen of England or some shit. So
yeah, I'd be surprised if, like, we don't find archived product documents, North Star documents that don't say, like, problem statement, solve anxiety of Facebook users, but they did not take that into account. And then once you get to the video, so once you click into, from the carousels, click into one piece of content or a TV show that you want to watch, an episode that you want to watch, automatic video play upon entry, very basic video, like, we know what the video on Facebook is like. And when the page opens up, you see, so again, video is actually a small part of the page because automatically, I would say 60 to 70% of the screen real estate is taken up by info, comments, and up next tabs, and a giant description of what you're watching. So your eyes are sort of drawn to this section instead of the video. No. And then that you sometimes see if you scroll down.
The physical revulsion you're feeling in just describing this experience you had is, I'm sorry to be laughing at your pain, but it doesn't sound like it really doesn't seem like it's trying to make you focus on the videos. It's just trying to make you stay on the page. Like,
get to the page, but are you going to stay on the page? And I think you can get the sense that their focus is, again, look at the comments and connect with other people who are watching this content, because you see also related groups that you can join as well, the Facebook groups, all within one view. You don't have to scroll down, or, like, it's a flawed method to reach the same. They still want more users to join these communities and comment and, like, get the flawed sort of engagement metrics, but so their focus is not video, like, it's just very alienating to people who actually want to watch content and create content. And what else to call out here? I will say, let's actually move to, like, some of the highlights of the original content that they created. Number one, I cannot stress this enough. We are podcast lovers on this podcast. One of the first podcasts, as horror lovers as well, that I fell in love with was Limetown, created by Zach Akers and Skip Bronke. 2016, I believe, was the first season. Just changed the game in how to do long-form horror and thrillers, and season 2 came out a couple years later. They made a TV show on Facebook Watch starring Stanley Tucci and Jessica Biel on Facebook Watch. Canceled after the first season because it was so bad. I was, like, throwing things at the TV.
No. Oh no.
It was a huge disappointment. And you'll see the theme of how many shows have been canceled after first or second seasons on Facebook Watch, despite some great stars that signed up to do this. For example, Sorry for Your Loss, created by Kit, I never saw this one, Kit Steinkellner, and starring Elizabeth Olsen, Kelly Marie Tran, Janet McTeer, canceled after 2 seasons. Scam Austin ran for 1 season, based on Norwegian teen drama. scam created by
Oh yeah,
Jenny and
scam was a huge like social media phenomenon. There's so many Tumblr gift sets about
managed
this
to
thing.
ruin
Yeah,
it.
man. I mean, the only thing they had that Norwegian scam didn't was prom, but it was canceled by Facebook Watch because it just wasn't getting viewers, right? I imagine there wasn't enough demand for this thing. So yeah.
I think there's a lot to be said there. I think they weren't really helping creators, right? Like, they just wanted, like, oh my god, how many people are, like, adding comments and, like, joining groups and actually interacting with our app?
Hold on. There is one thing that Facebook did put out that got a lot of attention, and that is Red Table Talk.
I know. Like, I was waiting for it.
From Becky from Full House's daughter coming on to apologize for lying to get into college, to I had an entanglement with August. Like, this was a place of
chef's kiss.
Just, are you not entertained? Like, Russell Crowe is gonna be screaming at you.
It's a gift that keeps on giving, because now we have books and memes and just other interviews, all thanks to Facebook Watch, you know?
Yeah, I would say Red Table Talk was the biggest impact that Facebook Watch has made on a cultural perspective, because I don't see people talking about Scam Austin. I don't see people talking about the other teen drama that was on Facebook Watch, 5 Points, set in Chicago, starring Haley Kiyoko. You know, things were good for teen drama in those days. Like, that was the heyday of, like, Riverdale and stuff. Why wasn't Scam Austin and 5 Points also creating the same wave? I just feel like it failed to capture that audience.
Yeah, it wasn't part of the conversation, other than Red Table, which is, I think...
a masterpiece of culture, yeah.
Sure. We see Marshawn Lynch, no script with Marshawn Lynch. We have Catherine Zeta-Jones, so, like, they got the star power. They use the Apple TV model of star power, weak script. Morning show sucks, guys, is my point. And... it just never broke through with any show, and then they kept canceling, and we're gonna get into why. Welcome to Missed Objectives and Key Results. So we've done the all hands. Now it's time to tear this shit apart. Do a proper eulogy, by which I mean point and laugh, as we often do, and sort of discuss the oversights, miscalculations, blunders that led to demise / sudden shift and late realization of why Watch is not doing well, what we should do with Watch on behalf of Facebook leadership. Alright, let's talk about what prompted the pivot. So, Watch is gone, dead, buried, y'all. As of this summer, Facebook Watch no longer exists.
But do legs exist in the metaverse? Have they funneled that money into putting legs in the metaverse yet? No, that's coming later. Okay.
I mean, talking about miscalculations and oversights, you know, it's a theme across all product launches. And what's replaced Watch is video, which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe before Watch, it was also video. I don't know if it was like a dedicated page, but it was definitely a way to access all the videos that you saw on newsfeed. It was like, look at all the videos, you know?
Yeah, I would say that the biggest, most, if we had to sum it up in one line, it's no scripted content. Now it's not really a competitor for streaming. I would say it's more a competitor for like YouTube and TikTok. Yeah, that's where it's
which is where they should have started in the first place, because I think they are actually set up for this much better than scripted content. The operational side is much better set up to pursue this, let's say. We'll see how that turns out. We've seen, we've discussed TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Reels in the past before. So this section, the renamed, rebranded section, which Raven, you're going to go into what that involves. But yeah, so this will just be short form clips like Reels, as well as live videos and longer form content that kind of are pulled into the Facebook app ecosystem, even though they might originate somewhere else, like Instagram. Watch is also gone from devices like Apple TV, Fire TV, Samsung TV, which makes sense. They are no longer in the streaming quote-unquote business. According to an Engadget piece this summer, the new branding comes as Facebook's video strategy has changed dramatically since the Watch section debuted in 2017. At the time, the company was pushing TV shows and other scripted long-form content created for Facebook. Now much of Meta's video ambitions center around its TikTok competitor, Reels, and other algorithm recommended clips. Okay.
Yeah, Reels is already in place on Instagram anyway.
It's like Facebook's version of Reels plus a little bit extra. I was also reading a Mashable investigation of why Facebook Watch was not doing well. So it's from 2020, I believe, and very well written. Maybe we'll link that in our description. It is called "For Every Facebook Watch Success Story, There Are Countless Failures." So it goes into the success story of, we referenced Jay Shetty, who is how would you describe him, Raven?
Ineffable in one way. He transcends description. He's I think he's aggressively the poster child for Asian wellness, and that pisses me off so much, because I think that among the many things that I have a right to, it's also the right to be a grumpy, frumpy, dumpy piece of shit. And I don't have to be highly toned and being able to do yoga planks for 5 hours. And Jay Shetty makes me feel bad for not subscribing to this ideal South Asian picture of health, focus, and well-being that he's clearly marketing as his brand. So mindfulness guru, which I don't get why there's a sense of these mindfulness gurus need to look a certain way or look like they're almost on a pedestal, high. You're not gonna take any advice from someone who isn't 100% bangable. So I think that makes sense especially with Facebook's algorithms and Instagram's algorithms. What are you gonna do? Listen to somebody smart and not hot? What
I love? I love a hot mess giving some mindfulness advice. I'm like, this person.
I would love to see 90s Courtney Love give me mindfulness lessons.
Listen, she's seen some dark times and she's transcended them. This is what I would want.
Let's get her on Red Table Talk. Let's do this.
We're throwing out free ideas here. So this Mashable piece actually talks about how Jay Shetty is an anomaly, and other creators don't seem to be doing well on Facebook Watch. So while original content will gain rave reviews, for example, Sorry for Your Loss, the theme was that they had, in terms of views, everything was under 6 figures. People were not getting views for original content, hence the cancellations. And original content by non-scripted, I guess, content originated by content creators on the platform face the same issues. Another thing, huge fan favorites, which is now personal to me, as you know, Raven, Buffy, Angel, Firefly, available for free on this platform, but never broke through in views. One episode of Buffy had 6 views 1 week later.
I completely see that as that makes sense to me. If there is a social media site that should stream episodes of Buffy, it's Tumblr. We all know that. But just the idea, I know Joss Whedon has his particular tastes, and I'm not here to discuss my feelings about him as a person, but imagine putting television like Buffy and Firefly, which are known to have like niche fandoms who are like very, very obsessed with the lore and the characters, and like even discussing what's happened beyond what was presented in the television format. Imagine putting that on Facebook, which is, the quote unquote normie social media platform, which is like everybody has it. Your mother has it, your grandmother has it. Why would you want to discuss all of the things that you would like Spike to do to you at various points of time in the day and night?
That's what Tumblr
on
is
Facebook?
for.
That's what Tumblr is for.
The 6 views actually makes me think that there were like broken links or broken features somewhere. Like that's shocking. And so you've been hinting at it, Raven. This is a quote from Amy McClure, who's a Facebook Watch creator. Quote, Watch is definitely more of a family content-friendly platform. Maybe it just speaks to the audience overall on Facebook. It's more moms and grandmothers.
Yeah, no one's watching Buffy. They're just watching like mothers say, please buy my scented oils or I will be
Oh my gosh.
$45,000 worth of debt. Please, someone help me.
In 2020, more than 400 million people were spending at least 1 minute consuming Facebook Watch videos every month. This is nothing, guys, because when compared to YouTube, with its billions of views per day, it's laughable. It's falling so short of even trying to compete. And the other thing that Mashable really goes into is the wonky, unreliable algorithm piece. So many creators believe that the company's algorithm favors watch show pages. So these are the dedicated pages on Facebook. You have your profile on Facebook. Again, I'm speaking to this from memory because I have not gone on Facebook for like 6 years. But remember, we had the profile pages, the personal.
Oh,
Facebook.
That's why your mental health is so much better. I thought it was ashwagandha. Okay, never mind.
I mean, it's both, but mostly the former. And so you had to create a Facebook Watch dedicated page that your algorithm would then start to favor sending audience to view your videos then. But the problem here is that watch show pages can only be created by Facebook partners, and not everyone is a partner. And there's a whole lot involved in being a Facebook partner, and not everyone had access to that. So they were not even offering incentives to their creators to be on the platform and create good videos. Listen to this though. This is drama. This is corporate drama. This is tech drama that I love. A black market for these Facebook Watch show pages emerged online.
The lamest black market. It's on the dark web. What are you buying? A Facebook Watch page? Ooh. Lamest thing. Just buy drugs instead, guys.
That, and also, there are other platforms, guys. Like, just go on it. Just honestly,
oh my god, yeah,
Instagram,
just make a YouTube page or an Instagram account.
Don't know, but I sympathize with creators trying to reach their audiences and trying to like putting this much time into creating something separately, maybe for Facebook, and that only getting 6 views or something. It's just horribly demeaning and disrespectful to your customers. And other thing is, most viewers are watching via the newsfeed. Here we go. Remember how we started this section, or the section before, where in the press release, Daniel Dankin, the head of product, they completely misunderstood their customers from the get-go, saying that we've created this because customers want a dedicated page. But then data 2 years later, or some change years later, was showing the exact opposite, that Watch's dedicated video content was not being specifically sought out, and most viewers were just engaging with some videos on newsfeed and piecing out. Stats and Analytics reported, also related, all of the data that they were reporting to their content creators and advertisers was also very incorrect and dubious, because, for example,
Whoopsie, we just sent you the wrong funnel.
Minutes watched were non-consecutive, and this led to a great advertiser support pullout once this came to light. When they were like, we have people watch 30 minutes of your video or whatever, and it was non-consecutive.
They watched 30 minutes of your video over the year. You didn't say they had to watch it all at once. So keep advertising Colgate toothpaste or whatever.
Data is very important when reported correctly. Like, you can't just throw out numbers and be like, oh my god, that person is smart because math.
Oh, 100% they got someone Asian to do the math and present it at the shareholders meeting or whatever. So it's like, it's right because it's some Asian nerd with math.
And then Watch, also another thing that Mashable makes a point to mention is Watch did not have a standalone app, only on the website, because it was a small screen sort of experience. You could only the entry point was only in the Facebook app, facebook.com on your small screens. TLDR, it lost the plot and it needed to go back to the drawing board, and now I'm even questioning if it understood the plot in the first place. Raven, take it away.
So the hero of our story, our boy Danny Boy, he left Facebook with the bag and said, you deal with this original content stuff, because apparently the industry of entertainment has like unions and I don't fuck with that. But I think the majority of the rebrand has been very steadily kind of trickling in. The 2019 pivot was seen in the algorithm to supposedly prioritize videos with original content and prioritize videos where users are focused for longer periods of time and are returning to the content. So 30 minutes consecutively and not over like the period of a year. So I guess somebody looked at the metrics after that, Kira. So somebody was like, listen, 30 minutes is good, but are they happening in the same calendar day? Let's go. And the algorithm was also focusing on adding more weight in the rankings to the videos that are at least 3 minutes long. So people were trying to make quote unquote longer form content. So it wasn't just like, I would say like Vine style videos anymore. You had to have
Long live Vine.
It's hard for people who have to focus on something for more than 7 seconds. I get that. Like 3 minutes can feel like an eternity, especially if it's not the type of content that you're into. But then in 2023, they kind of went through the most visible pivot, which was renaming that watch tab to the video, and it's positioning itself in the same place as Instagram Reels and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and completely shut down all original programming. So this includes the relatively cheaper to produce talk shows and documentaries and reality shows as well. So not just scripted programming, but original programming of any kind as well. So you're not getting anything coming from studio produced work. It's all going to be user generated. So yeah, very much akin to what YouTube has also pivoted itself back to. Because if you guys don't remember, YouTube briefly tried original programming. That's where Cobra Kai came from, and just didn't work out. So yeah, this is where things are at.
Who's behind you?
Yeah, she's dreaming of watching Facebook Watch, so she's having a nightmare.
Oh, Truth.
I know. I'm gonna go and calm her down. Give me 1 second. She's just like, Mark Zuckerberg is trying to sell me cryptocurrency, mommy. All right, so we're now back to the parent company Meta. I mean, it renamed itself Meta, right? So you have to imagine that they're going to be extremely serious with the metaverse. And what they are now doing is either really exciting or really horrifying. I'm a fan of H.P. Lovecraft, so I see this as just abominations to humanity, because there's a lot of original content that's being slated for virtual reality. So if you want to be made to feel sick physically as well as mentally, grab your Oculus and plug in, because here's some type of slate that they have lined up for the original specials that Meta is going to be including for the VR experience. The Notorious B.I.G. Sky's the Limit, a VR concert experience in celebration of Biggie's 50th birthday.
Wait, that was one title?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought you already moved on to like the third title. Okay.
No, bitch, it's all the same thing. They're resurrecting the corpse of Biggie and making it dance for you in VR. Because no one is allowed to rest in peace. Yes, get plugged in, Johnny Mnemonic, because there's more. The Shacktacular Spectacular. I don't know what that is, but if it involves Shaq personally coming to my home and just standing there for a few minutes and giving me a hug, I'm fine with that. But apparently that's not what it is, so I'm gonna swipe left on that. This is supposed to be a New Year's Eve countdown special hosted by Shaquille O'Neal.
Wait, tell us the performances, please. Who's performing?
I guess Cardi B is worried about her daughter going to college, which fair. It is fair. Getting wildly out of control. There's also VR comedy specials. Cannot imagine a better encapsulation of the loneliness of the human condition by just laughing at something you're watching on your fucking scuba diving monitor gear. Where Pete Holmes and Nikki Glaser, who are, entertaining comedians and have made a lot of like thoughtful comedy before, just being, transported directly into your brain through the Oculus experience. And the only thing that I'm just really curious about is the Eli Roth horror specials for Halloween and Valentine's Day. Okay, what is this? What does this involve? What is happening right now? I think it's just how like every technology eventually evolves to one thing. Catering.
Murder.
Close. Pornography.
Uh-huh.
Every step in technology, especially in entertainment technology, has been propelled by the pornography industry.
Yeah.
So I think we're just there already, and Facebook is like, why not?
Skip the
all you people pretending that all you have is an innocent friendship with Hatsune Miku, like, shut up. We all know what's going on over here. So the final pivot is that it's Facebook video now. There is no Facebook Watch. We don't know her. And it's not going to be an on-demand video player for content that is hosted directly on the Facebook platform. So I am really, really excited to see the unhinged content and the let's just say open display of unresolved mental illness issues that comes from people who found TikTok too difficult to handle. So November 2024 is when I'm guessing the content on Facebook video is going to get its most entertaining.
That date has no meaning, right? Random. Non-US users might want to Google November 2024 USA or something like that.
I'm sure people who are outside of the US have experienced this on their own doom cycle, but I think that we can proudly say that when it comes to high quality unhinged content, strap on a pair of these glasses and watch Shaquille O'Neal usher you into the new year. Nothing's changed, same shit, new scenery. Actually, sometimes even the scenery doesn't change. So I'm just fascinated at the hubris, I guess, that Facebook had in thinking that they could get into original content without considering their audience. But I think it's come to the point of where, like, there is a certain humility that I see in Facebook where, okay, we know what we are. We know who we're for. Where do we go from here? And that's the thing that I would say continues to remain an interesting carousel of madness, I would say. Yeah, just a clown show. All right, let's distill the hour-long bitching and mean girl burn book
Final
session
thoughts.
that we have done. Yeah, let's distill that into our final thoughts and actually try to sound like we're product managers who do this for a living, and not just walk into a meeting room, look at our colleagues up and down and said, "Oh, you're wearing that? Okay." But as a reminder, it's totally okay to bully a multi-billion-dollar mega corporation. That's valid, and that's praxis. However,
It's okay. They can wipe their tears off with all the dollar bills. It's fine.
I really feel like Facebook and Instagram have a specific user that pops into mind when you think of these social media platforms, right? Yeah. And the reason that Facebook Watch, I think, failed is because they didn't create content for that demographic. They're like, oh, we're a streaming service now, but those streaming services didn't come into mind with like, oh, we're making content for a specific demographic. It's like, it's not a specific type of person who watches Netflix. There are people who watch Netflix for Love is Blind. There are people who watch things like Stranger Things and Wednesday on there. There are people who watch crime documentaries on there. There's a lot. And people on Facebook and people on Instagram as well, I'm not just singling one thing out, but they've tended to gravitate towards a specific type of user unconsciously, just because of the way that they promote and create their content. And if you're on social media, it is way easier to curate your life through pictures, because you have the ability to edit that and showcase specific sides of your experience through pictures rather than video. Video is like a little bit more real. I know that we're living in the age of AI, but we haven't come to the point where they're successfully able to actually generate people doing things realistically. So it's not going to be possible for you, for example, to pretend that you're on vacation in Bali when you're not, because there isn't enough information around you out there that AI bots can try to put together and form like a 30-second video of you looking sexy on a beach in Indonesia. So there's that aspect as well. Like, these are platforms that were based on sharing pictures. You cannot just immediately go into video without seeing some friction or some resistance from the user base, because they're so used to interacting with content in a specific way. Not everybody has access to the type of high-speed internet that you sometimes need to be able to engage in video content as well. And from the perspective of what's available on TikTok and YouTube, I think that the only thing that I can really see overlapping is the type of content where a person speaks to the camera about a specific topic or subject for a short amount of time. Just giving like a highlights of, hey, did you know this fun fact about this thing in a movie? Or, hey, did you know a fun fact about... I've been watching a lot of like skincare shorts as well, where they explain like what active ingredients in your skincare products does for you, and like how to buy things with the right ingredients and stuff. I could see that making its way to Facebook. I feel like that is a great thing for people who are already on the platform. Things that are about that, where it's just like, here's a cooking hack, or here's a fun hack that you can do around the house, and it's like short things that are about going through with your daily life and not about necessarily something that is aspirational to the point of not being achievable. I think, again, with user-generated content, it's just going to be people using the platform to market themselves and market their brand, and not necessarily share information about themselves. So yeah, that's they have understood, and by they I mean Meta has understood that Instagram pays its bills through e-commerce.
Yeah.
It is an advertising platform for fashion, for jewelry, for skincare, for makeup, for anything that you may want to buy. I've seen like mattresses being advertised on Instagram as well, and I could completely see that also being something that they integrate into Facebook, where you can buy all of the products that you're seeing in the video with one click, or have brand advertisements with the shopping links integrated.
Facebook Marketplace is still alive, right? Like the little like Craigslist.
Yeah. That's your I can definitely see them
is like missing.
Promoting that as well. Leverage the aspect of being able to film videos for the product on Facebook video as well. So I think that e-commerce is where all of this is eventually headed. They're like, okay, we're done, making content that we can attach marketing to. Let's just become the marketing tool instead.
Yeah. I think those are really excellent points. We did the episode on Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok, and we found that like the types of creators were different on each type of platform. And Instagram, the types of creators that are getting famous are very beauty oriented, very like fashion oriented, and it made sense because it was like a picture forward platform, that like aesthetic,
something that is aspirational, but that's not too far, because again, it's all DIY. This is what I can do for myself. It's people doing their own makeup and looking awesome. It's not about I hired a person for $5,000 to do my makeup and now I look sick, so
yeah, you can take that shit on another platform. And I just think that what's been interesting is that if you had to like take a Word doc where you like distill why things, a little bit of retro and like how to move forward, and you had to present that to leadership in like a glib PowerPoint, you would have like 3 bullet points. We don't know our audience, or we didn't put enough effort.
I think we were in denial about our audience. We didn't want to be the platform for grandmas and mommies. We found that to be derogatory.
Yeah. Like whoever, this is terrible because they are still your users. Show them some kindness. The intention was never there. What is your intention with this product? If you're just in it for getting like advertisers, if you're just in it to get people to join more groups and like comment, add emojis, then do that better. Like the split attention didn't even work. And then the identity. All of this fed to, we always talk about what's your product identity. We were just like flailing to describe, both Raven and I, what Watch actually was, which is not a good sign. You can't find a lot about Watch, a good description of Watch anywhere. And then this leads to, something you said also triggered me to think about, if you understand that your users are like on the older side, then you can focus on the type of funnel. For example, you want to focus with the youths, you want to focus into put more effort into like acquiring them, right? Whereas like all of the older population, you want to focus on a different type of funnel, like engaging them, retaining them, making sure that they are actually referring other users. Didn't do any of that right. And this goes to also another thing that you said, Raven, was we were talking about Facebook Marketplace and other areas of Facebook, a huge company, Meta. Why is there such a disconnection between why are videos not feeding into like, hey, click on this and buy this, on here's like some people in your community that are selling some of the items mentioned in the video. You know what I mean? Like where is the
it's coming. Yeah. They realize that is where the future lies for them within e-commerce. In there, I think it's less about like.
Do you hope that it's coming, or do you think they're actually? Because I don't have high hopes.
I'm not hoping. I never hope for a multi-million-dollar company to make more money, but I just have the feeling that that's where they're going to go, because I think, again, especially with the way that things have gone, for TikTok to say, hey, creators, we don't have a creator fund anymore. Sorry about that. Bye. and YouTube also being very finicky with paying out its creators. And I think Facebook has recognized that, yeah, it's not going to necessarily look upon people to generate the type of content that people watch and stay within the platform. It's about integrating it to the overall e-commerce. So the type of influencers, quote unquote, that will be platformed on Facebook video are going to be people that are already dealing with the types of products that they intend to market. So it's going to be an interior decorator who is selling like custom wallpapers and paints and furniture and things like that from like a collection that they have launched with Home Goods or whatever, you know? So it's going to be that way. It's literally the internet version of like Nate Berkus, who did like random shit for Oprah, and now he has something in Williams-Sonoma. It's literally the next generation version of that, right? Like it's people who will come in and they'll do like a full face of House Labs, and it'll be maybe even Lady Gaga doing her own makeup with House Labs, and then you can buy House Labs products linked in the description.
Gaga's thriving on TikTok. She ain't leaving. She ain't.
Right.
You know what's funny? Like, we talk about what's just fascinating to me. TikTok just came right out of the gate knowing a lot of these things. Identity, their audience, their intention, and just like an ecosystem that's like so well connected. It's almost breathtaking how they understand product. I mean, there are other issues with it, which, you know.
Yeah, that's where I think it's gonna be. This is a horse race between Facebook's product, like Meta's product, Facebook, and TikTok, and in seeing which one of these is going to be able to capture the most amount of admittedly limited attention from the user base in video content, and basically seeing it spin off into the same thing. Is that how are they going to better integrate the shopping experience, which has been kind of the only steady thing that has remained since the pandemic.
Yeah.
So
a new pair of boots always heals that wound in your soul. You know what I mean?
Yes. Fix your seasonal depression with some new mittens.
Cute mittens. All right, speaking of shopping, we're in that season, guys. Next episode, we're talking about holiday schmaltz, Hallmark Channel versus the Great American Family Channel. Let's go, guys. Hallmark, quietly a winner in the streaming wars, just staying outside of it.
It's gonna be an interesting dissection. It is going to be an unholy mess. The reason for the season, baby. Let's do it.
Until next time, full screeners. Bye.
Bye, everyone.